All right, good afternoon, everyone. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing well. So today we'll be going ahead with the preparation of Pragati exam. So Chandigarh University will be assisting you in preparation of the exam of Pragati. So we've already discussed on various aspects, various parameters, various details of the exam. Today, what we'll be working upon is subject verb agreement. Now, this is for your understanding, this comes in grammar part. Certain questions also come of grammar. So please be ready with the questions coming from this very part as well, right? So I'll give you a brief of what it is all about, and then we'll go ahead with round of Chandigarh University. Now, what we talk about subject verb agreement, when we say it is subject verb agreement, it is we must agree with another verb and subject. They should agree with each other. So that means the subject is singular. Subject for whom or regarding whom we are talking about. It should be singular. Then the verb would be singular as well. If it is plural, then the verb would be plural as well. It is very important. Why? Most of the students, they falter in the questions of subject verb agreement in the exam as well. So please go through the details properly. I'll be sharing with you certain questions. Please write down the answer in the chat box, and I'll be sharing with you the answers of the same as well. All right. So before that, let's go ahead for a tour of Chandigarh University. So that is a tour of Chandigarh University. Now we will be taking ahead the details from the presentation so that all of you get to know what subject verb agreement is all about, what are the rules associated with it, what are the kind of questions that can come, and then how do we answer them further ahead, right? So let's start with the same subject verb agreement. Why subject verb agreement? Because if we talk about incorrect subject verb agreement, it can confuse the reader who's listening to you, right? It would confuse him. For example, look at the sentence here. He are a tall man. The person will get confused. Are we talking about they? Are we talking about a singular person? Whom are we talking about? So that's why subject verb agreement is very important. Now we'll be going ahead with the rules, and I'll ask you certain questions as well. And I will request you to type in the right answer in the chat box. Let's see how much do we learn through the same. Now we'll start with the cornerstone rule. What does this rule state? This rule says that subject, if we talk about singular subject, it has a singular verb. So he reads. The singular verb would be with s/es. Plural verb would not have s, right? So he reads. Why? Because he subject is singular. Plural subject they, then the verb would be plural as well, which is read. Let's go ahead with the questions. Let's see your answer in the same. They dash football. Should it be play? Should it be plays? Please write down in the chat box. Let's hurry up and write down in the chat box. They dash football. Play plays. Second, he dash food at this time. Eat or eat. Hurry up. I'm giving you 10 seconds to write down the answer of both of them in the chat box. Singular subject needs singular verb. Plural subject needs plural verb. Hurry up. So the answer to this is they play football. Why? Plural subject. He eats food because it's singular subject. We're just talking about one person. That's what the cornerstone rule states. Let's move further. When the two subjects, then they are joined by and, this and this, the verb becomes plural. So look at the examples. The puppy and the lady are friends. The boy and the girl are playing. Ria and Sam are going to the party. The two subjects, they're joined by and, therefore the word would be plural. Moving on, questions regarding this. Knowledge and wisdom, dash of times, no connection. Have or has, knowledge and wisdom. Second, he and I, dash playing. Should be was, should be were. Third, in him, dash centered their love and their ambition. Look at the subject, based on it. Look at where and is added. Look at that and then answer the questions. Write down the answers in the chat box. Hurry up. Let's compete. We need to give the answers in the examination as well. Very important. Knowledge and wisdom have of times no connection. Has is singular. He and I were playing. In him, which is the subject here? We are talking about what? We're talking about love and ambition here. So that's why in him were centered their love and their ambition. I hope you are getting to know about it. You're understanding the rules. Let's move further hand. When we are talking about two subjects, they're referring to the same thing, even after they have been joined by and. The verb becomes singular. Example, Rajma and rice. When they are together, that's a single dish basically, Rajma and rice. Although both the subjects are joined by and, but that's a single dish. Therefore, the verb taste would be there. Why? Because it's singular verb. Burger and fries deal is the most inexpensive. Please take care of it properly. Same thing, even if they are joined by and. So, take care of the same. Questions. Time and tide, dash for none. Bread and butter, dash his only food. Hurry up, let's see the answers coming in the chat box. My friend and benefactor has or have come. Please write down the right answer in the chat box. Write down the right answer in the chat box. Waiting for your answers, everyone. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Answers in the chat box. Time and tide, wait for none. Bread and butter is his only food. Together, my friend and benefactor, that person is my friend as well and he's my benefactor as well, has come. So I hope you're understanding. It's very important for all of you to know. And when we have two subjects, we go for the plural verb. But when two subjects are joined by and they're referring to only one thing, it would be a singular verb, right? Let's move further. Whenever we have either, neither, or we also call it either, neither, each, everyone, many as subjects, we will always put singular verbs with them. So neither of them is available to speak right now. Why is? It's singular verb. Why? Because we have neither here. Then when we have either or either, we also call that neither of us is capable of doing the job. So words, either, neither, each, everyone, many, we would put in singular verbs with them, right? Let's move further. Questions for you. Neither of the two men dash very strong. Each of these subjects dash found in India. Many a man dash succumbed to this temptation. Questions for you. Please write down the answer in the chat box. 6 seconds, everyone. Hurry up. Let's see if you understood the same. Okay, let's move on. Neither of the two men was very strong. Neither of the two men was very strong. Each of these substances is found in India. Each. Many a man has. So please take care of this particular rule. Let's move further. When the two singular subjects, they are connected by or, nor, neither nor, either or, not only, but also, we put in a singular verb with them. Two singular subjects connected by these words. We put in a singular verb with them. Matt or Stacy has stolen the scarecrow. Has, singular. Have with plural. Not only the teacher, but also the assistant was soaked with sweat. Neither the teachers nor the student is participating in the annual function. I hope it is clear. Let's go ahead with the questions. Is it clear, all of you? Questions? No nook or corner was our left. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of you have 15 seconds. Write down the answer in the chat box, everyone. Hurry up, hurry up. Let's see your answer in the chat box. 5 seconds. All right, the answers. No nook or corner was left. Neither food nor water was to be found there. Our happiness or our sorrow is largely due to our actions. Words. Remember the words which joined with the subjects. Either the dog or the cat has been there. I hope all of you have seen the answers that you've given. I hope all of you have got the right answer as well. Please understand, you need to understand which part or which area are we lacking in, which area we need to improve as far as Pragati exam is concerned, right? Let's move on. Now, whenever we have there and here, the subject will always be placed after the verb, right? Whenever we have there and here, the subject will always be placed after the verb. So there is is our verb. What? A meeting today. Here is what? The pen you were looking for. Here are what? The results from this past month. So there and here, this rule applies in those particular sentences. I hope we are clear. Let's move on to the questions. Here is or are the diary you are looking for. There is or are a party tonight. Answers 5 seconds in the chat box. Hurry up. Let's see, what are we learning? Here is the diary you're looking for. There is a party tonight. Why? Here, we have here in the sentence, therefore, this particular verb is would be placed before the subject, that is, what are we talking about? The diary. Then we have there in the sentence, therefore, the subject would be placed after the verb. I hope you've got this. Everyone understood it? If you have any queries, any questions, please write them down in the chat box. Any queries, any questions, please write them down in the chat box as well. Right? Let's move to the next rule. This is rule of proximity. What does it state? Whenever we have subjects, two subjects which are connected with or, nor, neither nor, either or, not only, but also, we go for rule of proximity. Now, look at this sentence. I'll explain it from there. Either my sisters or my mom has sent me a present. Now, how is it possible? It has to be have, right? But rule of proximity, what does it state? That we go ahead with the verb, whether it's singular or plural, based on the subject which is nearest to it. So if we talk about either my sisters or my mom, mom is singular, that's why we'll go for singular verb which is has. Look at the second one. Not only Bob, but also the Smiths. Smiths, plural. That's why want, not wants. Wants is singular. Cookies or brownies, plural, are nice treats for your teacher, right? So please look at it and we'll go through the questions. 10 seconds, everyone, please write down the answers there. Come on, let's see the answers in the chat box, everyone. It's a very important part of your examination. Either my friends or my sister has come. That's what the rule of proximity says, because it is sister, it is not sisters. It is the nearest subject to the verb. That's why has come. Neither teachers nor my friends, plural, are there yet. Either my mom or my father, singular, father singular, that's why is coming to the meeting. Please take care of the rule of proximity. You will have these kind of sentences related to the same. Let's move on to the next one. Whenever we have together with as well as along with, they're not the same as and, right? So whenever we have phrase introduced by as well as along with, we will modify the earlier word, but it does not compound the subjects. Example, the mayor as well as his brother as well as is going to prison. So it will not be are going to prison because we have as well as there. Whereas when we have the second sentence, the mayor and his brothers are going to jail because it didn't have as well as. Please be careful. As well as singular verb. So let's go for the questions. Silver as well as cotton has or have fallen in price. Justice as well as mercy allow or allows it. The film star along with his bodyguards is or are coming. Please write down the answer in the chat box. Let's see the answers. 5 seconds. Let's go ahead and write down the answers in the chat box. Come on, let's see the answers in the chat box, everyone. Well done. I need some more answers coming in. Silver as well as cotton has fallen in price, as well as not have. Justice as well as mercy allows it, allows singular, allow plural. Shared with you, singular verb with s/es, plural verb would not have s or es. The film star, along with his bodyguards, is coming. So please take care of these words when you're writing down the answer in the exam. Right? Let's move on. I hope all of you got the answer. If not, if you have any query, please post that in the chat box as well, everyone. Feel free to ask questions. So whenever we have, the next rule says, whenever we have who, that, which within the sentence, in the middle of the sentence, they become singular or plural according to the noun directly in front of them. Right? So Pam is the scientist, which is the noun here, scientist. It's singular in nature. That's why we will write writes the report. He is one of the men. Men is plural, right in front of who, which is in the middle of sentence. That means the verb would be do. That is plural. It is not does. Does is singular. Those are the students who are the best. Who are the best. Why? Because we're talking about students. It is just in front of who. Clear? Before who, that, which. If the subject is singular, the verb would be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb would be plural. Subject here, basically the noun. All right, let's go to the questions. Sam is singer who sing or sings the songs. She is the one of the players who work or works hard. 5 seconds, hurry up. 3, 2, 1. Sam is a singer, singular, who sings the song. Sings the song. She is one of the players who work hard. Right? Look at the noun, subject, and then based on it, go ahead with the verb. Clear to all of you? I hope it is clear to all of you. Any questions, queries? Moving on. So whenever we have titles of the books, right? We talk about movies, we talk about novels. Those are basically singular, taken as singular. So some of the students, what do they say? They say that, let's take example here. Harry Potter series are my favorite. Aliens and various other movies are science fiction. Now, whenever we have title of the movie or book or novel, it will always take a singular verb. All right. So Pride and Prejudice was one of my favorite books, right? Title of the book. Aliens is a science fiction horror film. Why? It's a title of the particular movie. Then Harry Potter series is my favorite. Understood? Clear, everyone? Let's move on to the questions. Arabian Nights is or are still a great favorite. Gulliver Travels was or were written by Swift. Let's go ahead and answer the same in the chat box, everyone. I'm giving you 10 seconds. Please answer the same in the chat box. Arabian Nights is or are still a great favorite. Gulliver Travels was or were written by Swift. Title, Arabian Nights is still a great favorite. Gulliver Travels was written by Swift. So I hope all of the rules are clear to you now. Everyone, I hope all of the rules are clear to you. Now we'll go ahead with the tour of Chandigarh University, and post that Mr. Amit will take you through the logical reasoning and aptitude.
Hi guys, very good afternoon. So today we are here to discuss a few new topics from the quant section and from the reasoning section. So in the quant section we will discuss today compound interest. If you remember in the last class we have discussed simple interest, right? So today we will start with the topic compound interest, right? And what are the concepts we should be aware about from this chapter? Listen very carefully. With the help of one diagram, I will tell you what is the most important thing that you should be aware about, right? So, number one, we have this one, right? So, we all are aware about this. In the simple interest, we have discussed this PRT by 100, right? So, the whole chapter we have in the whole chapter of the simple interest we have discussed this formula, and we have done all the question based on this formula only, right? Similarly, in the compound interest also we will discuss a few formula, few concept, and we will apply the same logic in each and every question of the compound interest, right? So you can see that we have this formula, right? The amount is equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power n. What is this A? This is called amount, right? What is this P? This is called principal. What is this R? This is the rate of interest, right? And this N is called number of years, right? For a particular period that for which you will lend the money or you will give some money to someone, right? So this is the overall concept. Now, what is the use of this formula? How we can use this formula in the question? So this is the scenario, right? Let's say begin with the example. Let's say we have 2 years, right? If we have 2 years, this formula will become amount is equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power 2, right? So if you will break this formula, this can be written as P 1 plus r by 100 bracket 1 plus r by 100. Now, what is the use of this formula and why we are writing down this, right? So from the next slide, it will clear to you, right? So let's take one example, and the example we have this one, right? So try to understand it, right? It's very, very beautiful example. In the simple interest, we all are aware about this. Let's say we have principal value is 1000, right? And the rate of interest is 10%. So in the simple interest chapter, we have discussed that you will get this 10% interest on the principal value, right? So the 10% of 1000 will become 100, right? So you can see that in each year you are getting the same interest. So we can say that in the concept of simple interest, we will get same interest every year. Now, what will happen in the case of compound interest, guys? This will not happen. In this compound interest, you will get interest on interest also. That's why this is called compound interest. What does it mean? Let's say we have principal value is 1000, right? Now the principal value is 1000, rate is 10%. So the 10% of this 1000 will become 100. That's why this is the interest for the first year. Now you will talk about the second year. You will notice that here value is not 100, here value is 110. Now why we are saying the value is 110? Because you are getting interest on principal also, means 100, and plus you are getting interest on the interest also. So 100 is the interest, right? So the 10% of 100 is 10. That's why 100 plus 10 will become 110. That's why the compound interest for the second year we have is 110, right? Similarly, this will happen for the third year, and that's why this is the result. And if you will talk about the example, the formula, what is the formula, and from where we can drive that formula, right? What is the logic, guys? Listen very carefully. The logic is this. Let's say we have principal value is 1000, right? And your rate is 10%. And let's say you have time is 2 years, okay? Now what is the formula? Listen very carefully. Now this is the 1000, right? Now you will get interest on this value, right? So 1000 plus the 10% of 1000, right? What does it mean? You will take the 1000 common, and the value will become what? 1 plus 10 by 100. You can write it as 1 plus 10 by 100, right? In the same way, so this is the amount after 1 year. Now you want to write down amount after second year. You will say that, sir, we will get interest on this whole amount also, right? So we can say that 1000 1 plus 10 by 100, this is the amount after 1 year, and you will get interest on this value 1000. 1 plus 10 by 100, you will get interest on this value, and how much? 10%, and 10% will become what? 10 by 100. So that's why if you will take common it from here, this value will become what? 100. Let's say 1000. We have assumed 1000 as the principal, so you can 1000 here. So 1000. 1 plus 10 by 100 is the common value, right? Now, if this is common, this is common. The remaining value will be 1 plus 10 by 100, right? So actually, if you will generalize this result, this formula will become, right? So that's why we used to say that 1001 plus r by 100 to the power n, right? So simultaneously you have to multiply with the 1 plus r by 100, 1 plus r by 100. That's why if you will generalize this, this is the formula, right? So I hope you all are aware about the formula, because why this is important, that you should understand what is the formula, from where we can drive it. Because let's say we have time is 2 years, right? And let's say that first year rate is 10% and second year rate is 20%. Then how you will apply this formula? You will simply say amount is equal to principal 1 plus 10 by 100 multiply 1 plus 20 by 100. Okay, so this is the logic. That's why I have discussed the, the the reason behind this formula with all of you, right? So by this way you can apply the logic. All right, so this is the better understanding, right? Now let's move toward the questions, how we can apply this logic in our question. So this is a basic example. What is the basic example, guys? The basic example we have is, let's say in the case of simple interest, we have principal value is 200. This is the principal value. This is our rate and this is our time, right? So in the last class, we have discussed one thing. If we have 2 years and rate is 3%, similarly, we can say that in the first year, you will get interest 3% of this value and 3% of this value is 6, right? That's why here 6, right? In the second year, you will also get the same interest. That's why again there is a 6. That's why total interest is 2. All right. So this is the logic behind the concept of this formula. All right. Now let's move toward the compound interest concept. What is a compound interest concept? In this concept, you will say that in the first year, you will get interest on the principal, right? This is correct, 6. But we have discussed the scenario. In the second year, you will get interest on principal value also, means you will get interest on 200 also, plus you will get interest on this 6 also. That's why the 3% of 6 will become what? If you will divide with the 100, this will become 0.18. And that's why 6.18 is our second year interest. That's why 6 plus 6.28, this is 12.18. Okay. So the overall reason we are discussing this is that we should be aware about that we should find out interest on interest also in the case of compound interest, not only on the principal value, right? Because whatever question we will discuss today, this method is very helpful in every question, right? So let's move toward the next question. The next question we have, guys, is this one, right? So this is the example, and the example we have to find out the compound interest, right? Now we have, this is the principal value, we have this is the rate, we have this is the time. You have to find out the compound interest. How we can find out? Directly apply the logic. The formula is what? Amount is equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power 2. All right. Now we can say that amount by principal will become 0, 0 cancel out. 1 plus 1 by 10, this will become 11 by 10, and this will become 121 by 100. All right. Now, what is 8,000 is the principal, right? Given in the question. So you will compare 8,000 this value, right? So you can say that 100 is equal to 8,000, means 1 is equal to 80, right? 0, 0 cancel out. So 1 is equal to 80. Now we have the difference is called the compound interest, because we all know amount minus principal is called the compound interest. And the difference we have right now is 21 rupees between 100 and between 121, because these are the principal value and this is the amount value, and the difference is 21. So if you multiply 80 with the 21, you will get 0, 818, 8216. That's why 1680 is our answer. Okay, so this is the best way that we can use in this question. All right. So let's move toward the next question based on the same logic. And the question we have this one. Okay. The same question Give me the answer, guys. Give me the answer in the comment section. Give me the answer. We have the principal value, we have the rate, you have the time, you have to find out the compound interest. Give me the answer of this question. Give me the answer. Answer of this question. So answer of this question is what? Exactly, we can apply the same logic. Amount is equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power n. 0 cancel. Amount by principal will become 11 by 10 to the whole square, 121 by 100, right? So we can say that here principal right now is 10,000. So we'll compare this with the 10,000 and you will say that 10,000, right? So you will say that 100 is equal to 10,000. So 0 cancel. 1 is equal to 100, right? Now we have the difference is called the CI. Amount minus principal difference is called CI. And we have 21 is the difference. So we can say that your answer will be 2100 for this question and the option number A is the correct one. I hope this is clear to everyone. This is clear to everyone. Okay. Now let's move toward the next question. And the next question we have this one. Okay. Now we have discussed a question in which yearly was mentioned, time, right? But right now we have compounded half yearly. Now there is a case where yearly can be mentioned. There is a case where half yearly can be mentioned, right? And there is a case where quarterly can be mentioned, right? Quarterly can be mentioned, right? So in the yearly, if you have rate is a% and time is t year, right? In the case of half year, you will divide this rate with the 2 and multiply the time with the 2. In the case of quarterly, you will divide rate with the 4 and you will multiply time with the 4. All right. So in each and every question, wherever you will see half yearly and quarterly, you will divide rate with the 2 and you will multiply time with the 2. And in the case of quarterly, you will divide with the 4 and you will multiply time with the 4, right? Because half yearly, if you have 1 year, if I complete 1 year, in 1 year, we have 2 half years, right? That's why we are multiplying here, right? So if you have 1 year, it means we have 2 half years. So if 1 year means 2 6 months, if we have 2 year means 2 to 4, 4 6 months, right? So that's why time will become 4 at in that case, right? So you can say that in this question, principal we have this, rate we have this, time we have this. You have to find out the CI value when there is a half yearly case. So you will say that again apply the same formula, amount equal to principal 1 plus rate means what? Divide with the 2. Rate means 10 and time will become multiply with the 2, right? Right? 1 plus r by 100 and time is multiply with the 2. That's a here 2. 0 cancel. Amount by principal will become what? This is 121 by 100, right? And again, we have 100 is equals to 10,000 given in the question. 1 is equal to 100. So we have to find out the compound interest and the difference again we have 21. So 21 will become what? 2100 is the right answer for this question and that's why this is mentioned here. I hope there is no doubt in this question to any of the student who is listening me right now. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. The same question. The next question we have the same pattern question and the question we have this. Again, this question is based on the half yearly. Give me the answer of this one, guys, in the chat box. Give me the answer of this question. Answer of this question. Give me the answer of this question. You have principal value given, you have time given, you have rate given, you have to find out the CI value. Apply the same logic. Apply the same logic. The same amount equal to principal 1 plus rate divided with the 2, 10 r by 100 to the power n means divide by power 2. So amount by principal will become again 111 by 10 square is what? 121 by 100, right? So this 100 value is given in the question, that is 8,000. 0 cancel out. So one will become 80, and you have to find out the compound interest, and again difference is 21. So here you can write down 21 value is 0, 818, 8216, 1680. Option number B is the correct one. And I hope this question is clear to each and every student who is listening right now. All right. The same logic I'm applying again and again, just with a different concept. Half yearly right now we have. Okay, so let's move toward the next concept of this topic. And the next concept we have the quarter based questions, right? The concept we have, I have already discussed with all of you, but the concept is compounded quarterly. We have this principal value, we have this is the time, we have this is the rate. You have to find out the compound interest with the case of quarterly. Give me the answer. Give me the answer, guys, of this question. Response. Give me response, guys, in this question. Answer. So again, you can divide the rate with the 4. This will become 5%. Multiply time with the 4, you will get 4 years, right? Apply the same logic. You will say that amount equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power n, right? This is 1 by 20. So amount by principal will become 21 to the power 4, 20 to the power 4, right? So 21 to the power 4. We should be aware about this because 21 cube is very helpful. This is always 9261. Remember this, right? So if you want to find out 21 to the power 4, just multiply this value with that 21. So you will get 9261 multiply 212, 2612, 1 carry 5, 2918, right? So 1, 6 and 2, 8, 2, 2, 4, 9, 5, 14, 1 carry 194481, right? 194481. And the principal value we have 224, 428, 8216, 1234, right? Now we all know the principal value is 3,20,000, but right now we have 1,60,000. Means whatever gap you will get, you have to multiply with the 2, right? Because principal value is the double of the ratio part, right? So the difference we have 1, 8, we have 1, 8, 4, 4, 3. So the interest value we have 34481 multiply with the 2. Okay. So this is your interest, and this will be your answer 212, 2816, 9, 248, 236. So 68962. Option number B is the correct one, guys. This is the answer of this question. All right. So this is the answer for this question. Let's move toward the next question. I hope this question is clear to each and every student right now who is present. Okay. So the next question, we have the same quarterly based question, and give me the answer of this question. Same concept question based on the compounded quarterly. 9,000 is a bank which pays him 8% interest per annum. Compounded quarterly, what is the amount which he receive after 6 months? So give me the answer of this question, because the question is based on the same concept of compounded quarterly. Give me the answer. Give me the answer of this one. Give me the answer of this one. Answer of this question. Answer of this question. Okay. So the same method we will use in this question. What is the method? Listen very carefully. 9,000 is a bank, means we have principal value is given in the question. The principal value we have is 9,000, right? Now we have rate given, that is 8%. Now we have time, that is 6 months, right? Okay. Now the question is compounded quarterly, and you have to find out the amount. How we can find out amount? We all know in the case of quarterly, you will divide by the 4 here. This will become 2%. And you will multiply 4 here. This will become 24 months, right? Means 24 months means 2 years, right? 2 quarter year. So it means, listen very carefully, amount is equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power 2. Okay, and when you will solve it, you will get 2, 5, 10, 0. 9,000 multiply 51 by 50, 51 by 50, 0, 0 cancel, right? And you will say that 90 multiply 51 multiply 51 divided by 5, 5, that is 25. So you can multiply here 4, divide with the 4. Why? Because this will become 100, right? So how we can multiply it? 90 into 4, that is 360. Multiply 51, multiply 51 square, right? So 51 square, how we can calculate the 51 square? This is 51, 5 and 5, 5, 5, 25, 1, 0, 2, 6, 0, 1. So 2601, 2601 multiply 360 divided with the 100, right? So 0, 0 cancel. So we all are aware about this. This is not completely divisible, and the last value definitely will be 6. So there is no need to multiply here. Only one option we have, where option will be in the point form, right? So we can say that our answer will be A option, and this is the best answer for this. All right. Okay. So, but before moving ahead, let's take a tour of Chandigarh University. Okay, after that, guys, we will discuss question based on the concept of compound interest. All right. So PPT is visible. PPT is visible to everyone, right? PPT is visible to everyone. Okay. So the next question we have this one. Now here time is mentioned in this form, where year is also mentioned, time is also mentioned in the form of month, right? So how to approach this type of question, guys? We have principal is given, we have rate is given, we have time is given. So same method you will follow, right? What is the method? We all know we have 2 year 4 month, but the formula we have is this: amount equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power n. So what you will write here, guys? So the point is, we can say one thing: if the principal is 8,000 for the first year rate was 15%, so you can write down as 1 plus 15 by 100. For the second year rate is also 15%, right? Right? So for the second year, rate is also same, that is 15%, 1 plus 15 by 100. But we all know the third year is not mentioned here. Here only months are mentioned. So in the 12 month, there is a 15% rate of interest. But right now we have only 4 months, means divide with the 3, 4, 12, and 15 by 3 is 5, right? So for the last 4 months, you will include only 5% rate, right? So this is the logic. Okay. Now how you can solve it? 5, 3, 15, 5, 2, 10, 0. Again, this is 3 by 20. This is 1 by 20. So if you will solve it, you will get 8,000 multiply 23 by 20, 23 by 20, and 21 by 20, right? So 2 to the 4, 4 to the 8, cancel out this with this whole value, right? So the amount we have is 23 square multiplied 21. All right. So we can say that We all know 23 square is 529. Multiply with the 21, you will get 529. Multiply 2 9 18, 1 carry 5, 2 5 10, 9 8 2 10, 1 1 1, right? So we have amount value is 11109 and the principal value we have 8000. So this will become 9013109. Okay. So the compound interest we have this is a B option, and I hope this is clear to everyone who is listening right now. All right, so you can understand that the rate is given, but why the concept behind the formula is important, because sometime you then directly you cannot put the value of R, right? So sometime the complete year is not mentioned. In that case, you have to break rate into different value as per the month given in the question, right? So let's discuss the next question. The next question we have this one. Okay, now this question is based on simple interest as well as on compound interest, right? How we can compare the two things, right? So if you will read this question, you will find that if the simple interest on a sum of money at 5% per annum for 3 years is 1200. So we all know simple interest is what? PRT by 100. So simple interest is 1200. P we don't know. Rate we know 5. Time we know 3 divided with the 100. Okay. Now if we'll compare it, this will become 3 4 12. This will become 400. This will become 80 means 5 8 40. So principal value will become 8000 for this question. Okay. Now if we have the same principle for the compound interest case, find the compound interest, right? If same sum, same period, and the same rate, and that is 5%. So how we can solve this question? Again, approach the same way. We all know amount equal to principal 1 plus R by 100 to the power 3, 1 by 20. So you will say that 800, 21 by 20, 21 cube by 20 cube, 20 cube cancel. 21 cube is 9261, and we know the principal value and we know the amount value, and the difference we can see that is 1261, and this is your answer. So answer for this question is 1261. Option number B is the correct one. All right, I hope this is clear to everyone. Now let's discuss one more concept. Actually guys, there is a question where you will see the difference given between the CI and SI, right? So I will suggest you wherever difference between SI CI is given for the 2 year, we will directly use this form P bracket var by 100 to the whole square. There is no need to know from where we can drive it, right? Actually, there is no logic behind that. You can directly apply P bracket R plus R by 100 to the power 2. You can directly apply in the questions, and I will tell you how you can approach directly in the question. Listen carefully. If let's say we have this constant, right? The difference between SI CI for the time is given in the question, rate is given in the question, and this is the difference. So we know the formula. Difference is equal to P R by 100 to the power 2. So 5 2 10 0. 6 multiply 400. So you can say that this will become 2400 is the principal value. So your answer will be 2400. And I hope this question is clear to each and every student of this class. Okay. So for the better understanding, do one thing, solve the next question. Solve the next question, guys. The next question we have this one. And this is the next question we have. Solve it. Difference is given in the question, rate is given in the question, time is given in the question, and you have to find out the principal value. Find out the value. The same logic you have to apply in this question. Same logic. The formula P R by 100 to the power 2. This is called the difference, and apply this logic in this question. Apply it. And how we can apply this logic in this question, guys? The same. You will say the difference is 50 here. Difference is 50 here. Principal we have to find out. Rate we have 10 by 100. This is 10, 1 by 10, 2. So 50 multiply 100. So this will become 5,000. And this is your principal. And C is the option. Okay. So you can see that without using so much mind, you can directly solve this type of question where you have to find out the difference of CI and SI. Sometimes principal can be given in the question. You have to just calculate the difference, right? Here difference is given. You have to find out the principal value, all right? Now let's move toward the next question, and this will be the last question of our compound interest topic, okay? Again, this is a different type of question, okay? A sum of money invested at CI amount to rupees 800 in 3 years, and in 4 year means in the next 1 year this will become 840. You have to find out the rate of interest per annum. How you can find out? We all know for this time period you can say that amount is equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power 3. This is the formula. Now if we'll apply this formula here, in this case you will say amount is equal to principal 1 plus r by 100 to the power 4. All right. Now if you will divide these two things, you will say that 840 by 800, this will become 840 by 800 equals to PP cancel. So this will remain only 1 plus r by 100, right? So 0, 0 cancel, 4 to 8, 414, 4 to 8, 0. So you can say that 1 plus r by 100 is 21 by 20, and you can directly put here, right? You can directly put here value and you can find out the answer. All right. So, or you can say that one thing, in this question there is no need to put the value, right? Why there is no need to put the value? Because you can say that if 1 plus r by 100 is 21 by 20, so from here only r by 100 will become 21 by 100 minus 1, and this is 1 by 20, and 100 will come here. So you will say that rate will become 5%. So you can say that your option number A is the right one. And I hope this question is clear to every student of this class, how to approach question based on the compound interest logic. Okay, so this is the best way by which you can solve the question of the chapter compound interest, right? So after this compound interest topic, we will discuss the reasoning topic, and that today we have to discuss puzzle, right? So, but before moving ahead toward the reasoning section, let's take a tour of Chandigarh University, right? And we have All right. I hope this PPT is visible to everyone. Now we will discuss a topic puzzle from the reasoning section. Okay. Now in the puzzle section, guys, actually there are no formula, right? You don't have to use any formula because you have to just read the statement carefully, and on the basis of the statement, you will predict the situation, right? For example, right now we have the first situation. We have seven persons are there, right? Their name is mentioned, and they are from different countries, right? And they play different games, right? Basically, there are three things given in the question, and you have to arrange them accordingly so that you can find out the answer for the next question. And what is the question? Next question we have, for example, on the basis of the puzzle, you have to find out who represents Japan. But before that, you should be aware about how to uh, how we can arrange the data on the basis of the situation, right? Now the situation is what? Listen carefully. The situation we have seven members. We have seven members, right? Now how we can predict that, right? Now let's say you have seven members and the seven countries and the seven games, right? So you can say that simply write down the name of the countries first, right? Let's say here it is Russia. Let's say here it is USA. Here it is China. Here it is Korea. Here it is France. Here it is Russia. Here it is Australia. Here it is Japan, right? So we have seven members and they are from the different countries, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So accordingly, we will arrange the data, right? After that, we will find out which person is from which country, right? So let's say this is the type. Okay. Now let's move toward the next data. And the next data we have, they play different sports, right? And the sports given here is volleyball, right? Volleyball. Next one is archery, right? And the next one we have is shooting, okay? Shooting, okay? And the next one we have tennis, okay? And the next one we have boxing, okay? And the next one we have athletics, right? Athletics, okay? And in the last we have football, right? So you can see that the data is very large, right? You can the largest last is football. If you will notice that seven different countries name, seven games, right? 7, 7, 14, and seven person are there. So we have 21 data we have to arrange, right? So the way we can discuss this question is by drawing a table, right? So why I am drawing this table? Listen very carefully. Now we have the football is the last one, right? If you will, because this is mentioned here, the order of the person and countries and game is not necessarily is the same, right? Now that's why we are drawing this table, right? Now read from here. Right? K represent China. K represent China. This is mentioned in the question, and for archery, right? Means K represent China, and you can write here K, and this is the tick one, right? It means archery is not for the USA, not for the Korea, not for the France, not for the Russia, not for the Australia, not for the Japan, right? Okay. And again, China will not play volleyball, shooting, tennis, boxing, athlete, football, right? So that's why this table diagram is helpful, right? So we can say that China means K represent China. Now T represent USA. So you will say that USA is here and T will represent USA. Okay, we can draw T here, right? T represent USA, but not for volleyball and shooting. Means not for volleyball and not for shooting. All right. So we can mark cross here. Now after this, the one who represent Japan means this one. The one who represent Japan compete for boxing. So we are very much sure that Japan means boxing. So you can make cross here. You can make cross here. You can make cross, cross, cross. and again there is a cross here, there is a cross here, there is a cross here, there is a cross, there is a cross, right? Because Japan means boxing, all right? Japan means boxing. And China K, and this is archery, right? Now, after this line, F competes for volleyball, means F compete for volleyball, and where is volleyball? The first one. F compete for the volleyball, right? But not from the Korea, not from the Korea, right? Means F can be here, France, Russia, Australia, Japan. Right now we are not aware, but we know volleyball means the F compete for volleyball. So this is the question, right? But not for the Korea. L represent Australia, and for athletics. This data is completely given. L represent Australia, and for the athletics means athletics is here. You can mark tick here, and means L will not play volleyball, will not play shooting, will not play tennis, will not play football. In the same way, athletics is not for the USA, not for the Korea, not for the France, not for the Russia. All right, so this is the best way. After this, the one who represent Russia means the one who represent Russia compete for tennis. Where is the tennis? Here is a tennis. So Russia means tennis. So we will again mark cross here, mark cross here, mark cross here. We will mark cross here, mark cross here, cross here. Right. So Russia will represent shooting. Russia will represent, sorry, tennis. Okay. Now J does not represent Korea and Japan. Means J does not represent Korea, does not represent Japan. Okay. Okay. Means J will come at the place of F only, and it is mentioned here. J is for the boxing. Means J is for the, sorry, this is Japan. This is Japan. Right. Now this is mentioned. J does not represent Korea and Japan. Means only France and Russia will remain. Right. Now R compete for rifle shooting. So rifle shooting means where? So R means rifle shooting. So you can see that if you will notice here, if you will notice, you will see that in the first row only this block is vacant, right? It means you can mark tick here. This is cross. This is cross. This is cross, right? Now here also you can see that in this row this is ticked. Why? Because only one is vacant. This is crossed, and here only this is vacant, right? So that's why I'm saying this is very helpful. Tick here, tick here, tick here, tick here, right? Here this is tick, here this is tick, here this is tick. So we can easily find out which game is for which country, right? Now R compete for rifle shooting. So if R for rifle shooting is here, right? Means this is for the R, right? Right. This is for the R. This is for the Russia, right? This is Russia. Okay. Now rifle shooting means here this is tick. So that's why R is from the Korea. All right. Now what is mentioned here? J does not represent Korea or Japan. Means Korea cancelled, Japan cancelled, only France and Russia remaining, and we can say that Japan is for the Japan is for the J is for the boxing. So definitely J will come here, right? Okay. Now L is here. Now we have only one left. Now it is F here, so we can say that F will come for the France. So which one remaining? Only I think L. We are done with the L. We are done with the. We are not done with the H, right? So we can say that H is remaining only. So H is for the Russian. H is for the Russian, right? So guys, this is the best way, because in the table manner we can easily predict which country is for the which game and for the which player, right? So this is the best way. And if you will notice in the next question, the question we have based on this puzzle, F represent which country? So F represent which country? France. And you can see that A is the right one, and you can say that correct answer is the. Okay, I can understand this question is quite difficult, right? Because the data is large, right? Right now we have 7 countries, 7 games. Okay, so you can say that the only method to approach this type of question, wherever a large data is given, always approach the table method. Okay, because when you will tick in a particular box, automatically the remaining boxes of the column and remaining boxes of the row will cancel out, right? And with the help of this method, you can easily approach the question. All right. So I think there is no need to discuss question on this puzzle, because if the puzzle is clear, the question is automatically done, right? Why? Who represent Japan? So Japan, J will represent Japan. So that's why C is the right one. And your answer will be what? Your answer will be C. Okay. So this is the best way that you can approach. So let's move toward the next question, in which data is not in this form, data is in different form like this. Okay. I will give you some minute. You can approach this question. Okay. You can approach this question also. You have 8 boxes, one above another, right? Try to approach this question. Try to approach this one. 8 boxes given in the question. P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, and W are kept one above another, but not necessarily in the same order. 3 boxes are between W and V, and neither of them is at the top or bottom position. 2 boxes are between U and R. There are multiple situations. Okay, so try to solve it with me. So how we can solve it? Okay, there are multiple situations, right? For example, we all know we have 8 boxes, and are kept one above another, but not necessarily in the same order, right? Now 3 boxes are between W and V. What does it mean? So let's say W is here, and V. There are 3 boxes between W and V, so you can say that V can be here. But sir, this is also possible that V can come here and W will come here. What is the problem? Okay, so you will consider the multiple situation in this type of question, right? So 3 boxes are between W and V, so there are 2 possibilities, and neither of them is at the top or bottom position. Means definitely someone is here, definitely someone is here, definitely someone is here, definitely someone is here. Okay. Now you can see that here 2, 4, 6, 7%. Here also 7%. So till here we have discussed the thing right now. This is V. Okay. This is also V. Okay. Now 2 boxes are between U and R, and U is above box R. Means this is the situation. But right now we cannot fit this situation in the diagram, because we don't know where U will come, where R will come. But this is very much surety that 2 boxes are between U and R, and U is above box R. This is the situation, right? Now 2 boxes are between V and R. Now again we have multiple scenario. 2 boxes are between V and R. If V is here, now you can say that if 2 boxes are between V and R, you can say, and R is above box V. So if V is here, then definitely R will come here, right? R will come here because R is above box V. So there are 2 boxes between V and R, right? But right now, if V is here, you can say that 1 and 2 R will come here, right? Now, if you will count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is the rejected case. Why? We have only 8 boxes, and right now we have 9 boxes. So this is the considerable case, right? 2 boxes are between V and R is above box V. Okay, done. Now after this, the number of boxes between P and W is same as the number of boxes between P and V. So the number of boxes between P and W is the same as number of boxes between P and V. Okay. Okay. Now from here we can predict that if this is P, number between P and W is 1 and P and V is 1. So we can say that, right? The number of boxes between P and W is same as the number of boxes between P and V. Okay. Now after this, box S is above box T, right? Box S is above box T. Okay. And more than one box is between S and T. Now you can say that if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right now we don't know where 8th one will come. It can come here also, okay, and it can come here also, right? Now the question is, again one line is mentioned there, T is not at the bottom position. Very helpful line, right? Because this is mentioned, but box Sn is box St, and more than one box is between S and T, and then definitely T and S will come here, right? If you will say that if T is here, and box S is above box T, then definitely S will come here, right? Why? Because S is above box T and more than one box between S and T, and this is clearly mentioned here, right? Now T is not at the bottom position, 2, 4, 6, 7, right? Now which one is remaining? Now again one problem is here. Now what is the one problem? you can see that this is not we have not used this data till now. There is a U and R, between U and R there are two person, right? And right now there is no U here. Okay, it means we have to fit U also in this diagram. So that's why I'm saying this. We have to consider multiple situation, right? Now if you'll remove it, let's say, okay, so this is the rejected one, right? So the accepted case is what? Where UW will come here and we will come here, right? We will come here, right? Now W will come here and we will come here. Okay, so this is the accepted case, right? Now, if we forget to put U here, now again we can read the situation. There is no issue in that, right? Now, if you will see that here till here we have done that. Now two boxes are between U and R. This is the situation, and the box U is above box R. So this is the situation that we have not considered till now. Right? Now, box R is above box V. Okay, box R is above box V. Okay? R will come above V, and the number of the two boxes are between V and R. So R will definitely R will come here, and R will come here, right? Now above R there is a difference of 2 between R and U. So you can say that definitely U will come here. So definitely you can see that U will come here. Okay? U will come. Now here you can predict that, sir, this is a very similar diagram, and you can say that RU will come here, right? And the only remaining we have is, I think, only Q is remaining. That definitely Q will come here, right? Q will come here, and this is the final result. U uh, S W R P T V and Q, and we have 2 4 6 8, right? Now if the puzzle is solved, you can easily read the question and solve it. Let's say the first question we have what? Which of the following box is just above box Q? So you can say that the box V is above box Q. So your answer number A is the right. Okay, I hope the situation is clear to everyone. Okay, on the same concept, you can read the next one. Which of the following box is not below R? Now R is here, and you can say that W S U. So W is the answer, okay, because V T Q are below R, right? So answer is the U W. So your correct answer will be what? Your correct answer will be, for this question, the correct answer will be W, right? So I hope this is a different type of question where the data is not so much big, but you have to arrange 8 boxes in a vertical manner, right? So this type of question can be asked. All right. So we have to discuss. It will be okay. We have one more question actually. The next question we have this one. Now in this question also you will see that there is a vertical arrangement. Now 8 friends, right, and live on 8 different floor, and the lowermost floor is on the building is number 1, like this. The question is what? 1 2 3 4, right? The 5 5 6 7 8, the same question. There is not a different scenario, but on the basis of the statement you have to deal with different situation, right? Because we are not clear right now which one is which one is at which floor, right? Now from here you can read this. From here, J lives on floor number 4, means J lives here. Okay, now only one person lives between J and L. Again you will see that L can come here and L can also come here. So that's why there are two situations possible, right? Only one person live between J and L, right? Now O lives on the floor immediately below L, means O will come here, and but here O will come here. There are two scenarios, right? Only one person live between O and P. So only one person live between O and P. So definitely P will come here in this diagram, but here diagram you can say that P lives above O. P lives above O. That definitely P will come here, right? Okay. So till here we have done, right? O lives on floor number 5. So this is correct one. This is wrong one, right? Only one person live between K and N, but we right now we don't know where K, where is N, right? Now m leaves on the even numbered floor, means m leaves on even number floor, right? But does not leave on the floor number 8, means definitely m will come here, right? And k leaves below q floor. K leaves below q floor. Definitely q will come here. Definitely q will come here because between k and n there are one. But right now we are not sure where k will come, where n will show. N will come, right? So whenever we are not sure where k will come, where n will come, in that case, question will be the similar. The whatever question the examiner will ask will be the same type, right? Right now in this situation, it is not possible to predict where k will come, where n will come. That's why both the possibilities for this situation, right? Now the question we have is this: who among the following live on the floor number 2? We can easily say m is the right one. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, the next one: who live exactly between the floor L and J? So you can say that between L and J there is a O. Okay, your answer will be that. Okay, so I hope we have discussed sufficient question from the topic puzzle. Okay, so thank you so much. We will meet in the next section with the new topic. Okay, so we will discuss linear and quadratic equation in the from the quant section, and coding decoding from the reasoning section, and in the verbal part we will discuss adjective and adverb. All right, so goodbye. Okay, thank you so much.